Hello children, welcome to the 6th episode of French Revolution chapter 1 from the subject History Standard 9. In this 6th episode, we are going to learn about three important areas. Number 1 is abolition of slavery during the time of revolution. Number 2 is after the revolution, what was the lifestyle of the French people in France. Number 3 is the Napoleon Bonaparte period, which is considered as one of a golden period in the French politics. So in this way, three important areas we are going to see. Apart from these three topics, one more also we are going to discuss, that is French Revolution broke out in 1789. That gave the impact not only in France, it reflected in the other European society also. And simultaneously it reflected in India also. Two important leaders in India, they gave a new thought after seeing the French Revolution. Who are they? In this regard alone, this video is going to give you the detailed information. Now, can we start? Now, we have come to the first topic, abolition of slavery. Slavery business was a wonderful business carried on in France. What is the slavery business? French people, business people especially, they had a trading contact with the Africans. Not only Africans, it was a triangular trade. That is Europe, Africa and America. In this way, this triangular trade business was going on successfully. In this business, slavery business was on the peak. From Africa, they will purchase. Who will purchase? French people, they will purchase the black people. And from there, they will export these people in a ship. For several months they will reach, and there in America auction will be conducted and they will be taken. So in this way, this slavery business was flourished and many businessmen minted money in this regard. Actually speaking, after the revolution, especially the Jacobin period, they protested against of this slavery business. So they were completely against. A great debate arose in this regard. Should we have this system or not? But at last, Robespierre period, they decided to cancel this slavery. And even though they cancelled it, they faced lots of criticism about this slavery trade. But as soon as the Robespierre period got over, in the year of 1804, when Napoleon took the charge, immediately he implemented a new law for the slavery trade. So in this way, revolutionary people, they have done a commendable job. One is abolition of slavery. So this is yet another important change revolutionary people they brought, especially during the time of Robespierre. So the next one is after the French Revolution, what happened to the day-to-day life of the France? We'll see in the next slide. Now we are going to see what happened to the everyday life of the French in France. What happened? 1789, the power was taken by the revolutionaries. Okay, whether this information is communicated to the common man who is seated in the remote village, they tried a lot to communicate the people. How? Print media favored a lot in this regard. So using the newspaper, using the books, through the way of their speeches, they communicated the common man and they insisted the importance of the revolution in the minds of the common man. So print media favored a lot for creating a nation's identity in the minds of the common man. So through the way of inculcating the nation's identity, they brought several changes. First and foremost, they introduced a national flag. Number 2 is they brought a national anthem. Number 3 is only one language system they had, that was French. In this way, throughout the France as well as the French occupied territories, they wanted to bring the nation's identity. To bring this nation identity, print media favored a lot. So in this way, the French people's everyday's life was started after the revolution. Then later on, 1804, a very big change arose once again in France, because 1804, Napoleon Bonaparte coronated himself as an emperor of France. In this way, Napoleon Bonaparte destructed the democracy and once again he brought the monarchy. But his period is considered as one of a golden period in France. How? Why? We'll see in the next slide. 1804 is one of an important year in the history of France and French politics. What happened? 1804, Napoleon Bonaparte, who was a commander-in-chief of the army in France as well as one of a directory member in France, he saw the confusion often arises in the directory and he decided to take charge as an emperor of France in the year of 1804 and he coronated himself as an emperor. After this, he once for all destructed the democracy and brought back the monarchy. But even though he destructed the democracy, he followed the democratic principles through the way of his uniform civil code. That is, for all the civilians are the citizens, he brought one single common law. So this system is democratic system. According to the system, first and foremost, he wanted to increase and develop the business, so he brought uniform weights and measures. Transportation facilities he brought and private property was encouraged. In this way, several changes as per the democratic rules and regulations he brought. Initially, the French occupied territories, they welcomed and they were very happy about this uniform civil code. But day by day, this uniform civil code started pressurizing the French occupied territories. At last, in 1815, in the place of Waterloo, Napoleon Bonaparte was defeated. So 1804 to 1815, Napoleon Bonaparte period was extended, and in his period, two important areas were flourished. One side, administration was also flourished. Another side, he conquered almost 90% of the European states. So in this way, Napoleon Bonaparte period is considered as a golden period in the history of France. So by the end of this 1815, once for all, French Revolution chapter is getting over. So what happened, and this French Revolution, whether it gave any impact to any other nation? We'll see in the next slide. When we study about this French Revolution part, right from 1789 to 1815, it has been given a wonderful value for the France as well as the rest of the world also. What value it is incorporated? The value was power of the people. If people decided anything, they can bring any kind of transformation. That is the power of people. Here, democracy gives the meaning, people's power. That was proved by the French. So, this initiative gave the minds of the Europeans, other European ethnic groups, if it is possible for a French, why not I? In this way, a different way of thinking arose in the European minds. Simultaneously, what happened in our nation? When the French Revolution was broke out, here we were under the control of the Britishers. At that time, Raja Ram Mohan Roy and in South, Tipu Sultan. These two were highly inspired by this French Revolution. So, they also wanted to bring a change how the French people they brought. Because France, the French Revolution was done by common men. So if it is possible for a common man of France, why not for us? In this way, a new spirit arose in the minds of Raja Ram Mohan Roy and Tipu Sultan in South India. So they decided to incorporate this spirit in the minds of the Indians. So it is a spark given for us to raise our voice against of the Britishers. So French Revolution gave a great inspiration in the minds of the Indians also. So in this way, French Revolution brought a very big political transformation not only in France, and it inspired other nations also. Hope you should have understood this topic very clearly, as well as the power of the people also you would have understood in this regard. Okay, so if you wanted to watch my upcoming videos, subscribe my channel, give your likes and pass your comments. Always press the button for the future notification. Until then, it's Kalyani signing off. Bye.